Today's video, the question is, should you summon Macchiato? I will go over her and some positive and negatives to her, and essentially you can decide for yourself if it is worth pulling for. But I'm gonna put something right here that will probably make you say yes. So yeah, after watching that, I know what your answer is. It's yes, absolutely must pull. I need her too, bro. I get it. Anyways, so yeah, Macchiato is definitely worth pulling for, even for a meta perspective. But I will go over some things about her and just, you know, some things you have to consider in the future when it comes to Macchiato before you even summon. So first things first, Macchiato, she basically stands out as one of the best single target DPS characters in the game, and she's pretty much a main for the freeze team. Like, she is the main for the freeze team. So building a team around her is fairly simple because there's only two other main characters that really go with her, which is going to be Suomi and Dush. So Dush is currently not out yet as I'm recording this, and she hasn't been announced yet on Twitter for like the drip marketing. But Dush essentially buffs Macchiato for like ice damage. Dush is a dedicated ice support, meaning that she's still missing something when it comes to her team comp. But you know, Suomi is right there, so it's already part of the meta team if you were able to summon for Suomi. So Macchiato is basically a sniper DPS who excels at taking down enemies one at a time, just slowly going to the backline. Her ultimate has a counter effect that lasts for 2 turns, but also triggers before enemies attack, and doesn't matter whether it's a single target or AoE, even if Macchiato isn't the target herself. Additionally, her ult also provides a shield, so that will allow her to have more survivability, since it's much easier to kill a sniper at the end of the day. Now, Macchiato does perform well if she is at V0, and literally she doesn't need her signature weapon. She doesn't. You could use Moisen's weapon. Moisen's weapon is good for her. After that, you can go to Battle Pass weapon, and then after that, even her own SR weapon is good for her. So you have options to play here. But a main question that you get is Macchiato good with V1 or weapon? It's V1. Simply put, V1 literally doubles her damage. Like, just literally simple as that, it doubles her damage. And that's why in China, she is second best, right behind Xiongju. She's just crazy. But in the current state of the game, already having Suomi, and especially if you have V2 Suomi to also give a ice damage buff, she's basically, in my opinion, just better than Xiongju. And I'm a Xiongju enjoyer, right? I have a level 8 affinity for Xiongju. I'm a Xiongju enjoyer at the end of the day. But let's go over some things, like some pros to her and what you could be looking to get into when it comes to this character. Now, first things first, Macchiato is in the same situation as Xiongju. The max potential is not there yet. So essentially you are waiting for her universal key to come out. Same with Xiongju. So you're waiting for the universal key and you're waiting for Dush. Same way how Xiongju's waiting for Vector. So literally the ideal supports for both characters you're pretty much waiting for. So let's just say you want to build Macchiato, right? And you're really considering what is the best way to get the most value out of her currently and even in the future. If you are able to, it is V1 and her weapon. Simply put, a V1 and her weapon you can use for a bunch of content in the game. Now, I will warn you, if you do invest a lot of time into Macchiato, depending on your account, and let's say you're going to pull for every character, you pretty much kind of won't use her. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's just me being very blunt. There's so many good teams and good characters in Ghost Frontline 2. Macchiato, if your account is built, you pretty much will not use her. I'm so serious. Like, you'll use her for Dorm. You'll use her for the new Dorm functions coming out. But yeah. And also another thing when it comes to Macchiato, AI is not that reliant. So a lot of people on Ghost Frontline 2 love using AI to clear content. Not too sure why. My hands are in the air on this, but yeah, she has a very, very strict rotation, and the AI simply cannot do that for her. So rotation for Macchiato would be something like consistently using your ultimate at the right times. It's sort of like Xiangzhu. Xiangzhu wants to use her ultimate when she has max skill points to get the best value out of it. So it's not really ideal to auto with her. The same thing with Macchiato. You want to use your ultimate, but you also need to use your skill 1 after multiple times, and then use your ultimate again, and then use your S2. But the AI simply will not do that. So that's something that you really have to consider if you were to invest your time into her. Now, another thing that is good about Macchiato is that it is one of the DPS characters that does not need a very, very high dupe to be really useful. Meaning characters like Xiangzhu needs V3. Moisen, like for our electric team, she wants V6. A lot of other characters have like their strong suits locked between a high gated dupe, but Macchiato fairly well because it's at V1. You don't need a lot of investment of, you know, currency to try to get her all the way up to make her that more useful. And again, she doesn't need, you know, her signature weapon at all whatsoever. Now, Macchiato, stat lining wise, not that easy. You do want crit damage, like a bunch of it for her to really get a lot of value as well. So that's also there. She can also inflict chill on enemies as well to prevent them from moving, so that can help you for certain stages where, you know, movement can be a problem. And then I would say probably one other thing when it comes to Macchiato is that if you are using, I would say her fixed key 6, I believe. Essentially what this does is at the start of battle increases attack by 10% and lasts till HP drops below 100% for the first time. So there are certain things with Macchiato where you want your HP high, even for her SR weapon. Literally, if her HP is above 80%, increases the damage dealt out of one turn by 10%. So that's also another thing that you have to really consider for Macchiato, is that you want to make sure that she is always high health. Now, I know this is pretty self-explanatory, like why wouldn't she be high health? You never know. Okay, someone might need that, but yeah, some of her buffs are reliant on her actually having high health, so that's something that you have to consider. So yeah, should you summon Macchiato? Yes. If you are free to play, should you summon Macchiato? Yes. Should you summon Macchiato over Sumi V1? Yes. Now if you're whaling or you're able to spend money, what should you look for when it comes to Macchiato? Well, you can get Sumi V2 that helps with 15% ice damage, and then you have Macchiato. Macchiato is fine if you're spending money. V1 and the weapon, that's the best investment. After that, it's kind of just up to you. You could go for V2. V2 also does a little bit more, but it's really just V1. Really just V1. Okay. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't yet. If there are any other videos regarding Ghost Frontline 2 that you want me to put out, leave in the comment section down below, and I will go over it or make a video on it. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Join the Discord and link in the description down below. Peace.